Take your chairs in, find a space.
Hilary Wade is a Year 6 teacher at Winterslow School in Wiltshire. This morning, her class is about to take a maths test, and she has an unusual way of getting them ready for it.
Hand up. And a wiggle down again. Well done. Can you do some little jumps on the spot for me? Well done. Hopping on one foot in a circle.
What Hilary's class is doing is a form of brain gym that includes physical exercises called Wake and Shake. Wake and Shake is a coming together of two ideas. With obesity levels in children rising, the government is behind a big push towards daily physical exercise, over and above normal PE. At the same time, brain gym has been shown to hugely benefit learning. The activities at Winterslow mix aerobic exercises with brain gym.
The basic idea is three things. First of all, to get oxygen around the body and into the brain, and we find that's pretty good for learning. Secondly, because it energises the children, it brings the left brain and the right brain together, because a lot of the movements we do are lateral. And when you've got that going on, you've got good learning. And thirdly, it's fun. And if something's fun, then it makes you feel good.
Wake and Shake has been in place for 2 years, thanks to a strong partnership between the Sports College St Edmunds and the school's head teacher, Peter Ward.
Well, I think I first heard about it because a similar programme has been in place in New Zealand for years now, and I remember reading about it about 5 or 6 years ago. And then I think some of the ideas have been brought to this country as well. And at the same time as we started, St Edmunds were starting an initiative with local schools as well. And they were very keen to promote daily exercise and increase the amount of physical exercise for children. And so we came in the pilot study with St Edmunds.
Peter worked closely with Geraint Jones at St Edmunds, a secondary school in Salisbury specialising in sport.
We basically looked at a model in New Zealand which incorporated up to 20 minutes of physical activity before the start of the school day, every single day, for all the pupils. Had a look at their research and found that had more of an effect on the pupils' health, well-being, weight, general concentration and behaviour in the class, more so than the structured physical education of team sports and football. This whole sort of 20 minutes of morning activity made more of a difference to more things in those pupils' lives. So we thought, oh, good idea, let's kick it off in Britain.
Okay. We're going to start this tables test now. You up for it? Yeah, feel good? Yeah.
We were then asked by numerous government bodies, Youth Sport Trust and sporting bodies, where's your quantitative data? You're telling us this works, how do you know? So we needed more research.
When we decided to commit to the pilot project, we, working with St Edmunds, baselined the children. We used reading scores, and we also used a sheet which was devised to measure pupil self-esteem. And then we measured it again at the end of the project, which was a 3-month period. What it showed was significant improvement in reading, much more than we would have expected in that time period. And also the teacher assessment showed that the large majority of children had improved in self-esteem across the board.
What we saw was an average increase in reading and spelling ages for these targeted pupils of around about 12 to 14 months in a 5-month period, which was absolutely unheard of before.
It started when we were in Year 4. We didn't really do it in the Key Stage 1.
And then we got water bottles, so we needed a drink.
At the start it was only reception who did it, and they called it Get Your Wiggles Out, but now it's Wake and Shake.
Wake and Shake takes place in every class and includes the very youngest pupils. They've only been in school for 3 weeks.
When they first came in, we introduced it straight away, and we put on some very popular music, steps, as Club 7, something we know that they're familiar with, and we introduced some of the moves and jumping up and down. A lot of the children, it's a totally new experience for them, but we find that most of them are quite ready to join in straight away. Some of the children are a little bit more reticent, and need a little bit of time to stand back and watch. But then they're very quickly joining in, and they look forward to it. In fact, if we miss it out, they demand that we do it.
You are good at bouncing. Very good bouncers. And can you bounce and wave your hands as well?
We usually do it first thing in the morning. After we've done the register, we'll do it before we want a concentrated listening time. So we'll do it for 3 minutes, a track of music, and then we find they're actually ready then to listen for 10 minutes or so on the carpet.
Learning is better for some children in the morning. Others seem to get out of bed and really find it difficult to motivate themselves very early on in the morning. And they might have woken up by, say, 10 o'clock. So the thinking behind this was that, let's put it into the morning. One, to wake the children up when they're in school. And two, as well, it's probably easier for schools to find that initial time of the morning to implement something like this.
And still in your space, can you do spotty dogs?
Oh, well done.
When Wake and Shake is started in a school, we will send a fitness expert out to work with the staff and with the children over a 6-week period. And their job is basically to make it a sustainable project. And then after 6 weeks, we'll come out of that school and then revisit in 3-4 months' time to see if they need any more support.
Wake and Shake isn't the only initiative of its kind in the country. Devon LEA is also extremely proactive, and Eid School in Exeter has its own unique scheme.
Eid Primary School is a small first school, Key Stage 1 and Year 3, where there is a real commitment to getting children active on a daily basis to the point where they skip with all children every day for 15 minutes.
We're a small village school on the edge of Exeter in Devon. We have only 55 children in the school, and we obviously have our own special little systems of doing things. Because we're so small, we're able to work in ways that it's harder to work in a bigger school. And one of the things that we're doing in Exeter as well as in Eid is something called accelerated learning, which actually involves children in developing whole brain learning.
10 minutes of daily exercise first thing in the morning plays a key part in developing Eid's strategy for whole brain learning.
We started off by trying out a number of different activities each day. We tried some aerobics routines, we tried some jogging circuits around the field. We tried to do a different activity each day, but it was the skipping that the children really took to, and they actually asked if they could do skipping more often, and so it sort of grew from there. Because the children were interested, we brought in an outside agency. We brought in 2 coaches to work with the children, and they've been in for about the last 3 years. We invite them in and they work with the older children, and they teach them how to do little skills, teach them how to do rocking horse or crossed, or teach them how to use the long rope and work in teams with each other. And they then enthuse the younger children, and they start joining in naturally over the playtimes and lunchtimes.
I think you will notice that a lot of the boys are skipping, and that was one thing that we were trying to work on, was boys' underachievement. And if the boys aren't achieving as well as the girls, they can at skipping, because you'll find that the boys are just as well coordinated.
Are you ready, boys? Go on then, show us what you can do.
All they have to do is turn the rope over their head, step over it, and they're on the way to skipping. And some of them are really thrilled with that. And then they challenge themselves to do that twice. And soon, before they know it, they're skipping. And the looks on their faces tell you how proud they are of what they can do, which then goes back into the classroom, because they know that if they stick at something, they will improve.
Well done, everybody. If you just hold your ropes in front of you, don't tie them up, because we're going to make a big circle in the playground to do some of our special skipping showing.
It's the confidence that is so noticeable. You know, the cardiovascular health is a big issue and one of the main sort of drivers behind trying to get children skipping. But you know, if you want to see the real benefits, the medics would say that Development of bone density is particularly critical for girls, and low impact activities like skipping are really important for that. I know that all children at EAT skip, even the less able skippers, and they develop enormous self-confidence as a result. The staff expect all children to be able to do it, and that's, the expectation set is such an important part of developing that culture.
From a class teacher's point of view, I've noticed that they're certainly more settled when they come into class after having done their skipping, because they sort of seem to have got rid of all of their sort of wriggles and jiggles and got rid of their energy. So they're more settled when they come in. But also it's improved a lot of their self-esteem and confidence, because children who perhaps struggle a little bit with some of the more academic things in the classroom really feel that they can do something physical, and they get a great sense of achievement out of what they've done. We've also found that the children have become a lot more creative, because the skipping coaches have taught them basic skills, but then the children take it away and start putting some of the skills together and making up their own patterns and routines. So we've really thought that it's helped their brains to become more creative in their work.
Ede and Winterslow have found different ways to maximise learning and boost physical activity. But could these ideas be applied to any school?
Many primary schools haven't got the facilities on paper to offer the physical education perhaps that they might like to, but Wake and Shake can take place in the classroom, any classroom. You don't need a lot of space for it, so I think any school, even if they haven't got the hall or other facilities, can actually offer it. And I feel that the 10 minutes, or roughly 10 minutes that children spend on Wake and Shake, I feel in the fact it energises them, it actually makes them more efficient in terms of the literacy and numeracy. And we all know that there is a positive relationship between exercise and brain power and concentration. And so therefore I feel that 10 minutes, not only is it enjoyed by all the pupils, but I think it's a huge investment in terms of their academic performance as well.
And I think one of the important messages is that we want teachers to operate in the space which is available. Some activities won't work in very small spaces, but lots of them will. And give it a go. And if teachers do give it a go, just watch the children's progress in class and their concentration levels over a period of a month. And I'm absolutely certain that every teacher that tries it will be totally convinced of the sort of methods and the ideas.
I was a bit sceptical to start with, but it really, really works. The minutes that you lose doing it, you certainly get back from concentration for the children.
Well done. Now, when you go back...
We all have to be active to survive. There must be a reason why that is, and why you feel better after doing some activity. And we did a little bit of research about serotonin levels in the brain increasing once you've been active for 20 minutes. Doctors now prescribing physical fitness rather than antidepressants, purely for this reason. So we just thought it made perfect sense. You know, we're human beings, we need to be active, otherwise we're not at our best. So I'm sort of trying to put 2 and 2 together and coming up with 4.
Yeah, when it helps you to listen. Gets all the oxygen to your brain. Yeah. Most people are very bored because teachers do go on a bit. But so it helps you, to listen.